Welcome, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to another episode of the Truth Mafia podcast. This is your host, Tommy Truthful of truthmafia.com. All of our links are down in the description. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms and check out our websites, truthmafia.com and truthfultv.com. Today, we're going to be getting in to the upcoming eclipse and CERN. So, what do you know that CERN is firing back up on the day of the eclipse? They're going back online. And what does this mean? Is there a reason they're doing this? Well, of course, there's a reason they're doing this. And I don't know if you guys know or not, but all the planets are in an alignment on this day. And you can see them all aligned during the eclipse from the Holy Land, Jerusalem. Now, we're going to see an uptick in alien stories. Mark my words. You'll see it on your timelines, news stories, the nightly news. Watch. We've already seen so much of it, but we're definitely going to see a lot more. And what are they releasing during this eclipse? Is it some type of a ritual where they're opening the upside down or this other reality? I believe so. I believe it definitely is a major ritual. And before we get going, some of you probably don't know what Gematria is, right? Well, in the movie The Matrix, there are several people who wake up from the system. They learn to read the hidden code of green letters and numbers of this matrix. This is not just a movie. We too have a hidden code behind everything media, movies. There's a hidden code. The elites have this secret language known as Gematria. So that's how we're going to decipher what is truly going on with this agenda. Why CERN's going back online after such a downtime. I mean, the last time they cranked it up was July 5th of 2022 when they broke the world record at 13.6 trillion electron volts. That's more energy than I believe it takes the UK to power up all year. Now, when that happened, guys, if you remember this timeline, that was a very strange year. Stranger Things 4 had just came out, season 4, right? And remember Stranger Things season 4, they released all the episodes on Netflix except for the last two episodes. They waited till 7/1, 4 days before CERN cranks up. And Stranger Things is all about portals. 4 is a number of death in many Asian cultures. The number 4 sounds very much like the word death in Asian. That's why, you know how some people here think 13's a negative number? Well, it's like that in Asian culture. 4 is the unlucky number. They don't use it in buildings or on license plates. That's their unlucky number. So it was 4 days later. Uh, CERN breaks the world record in energy. And Stranger Things released the last two episodes on 7/1, which Stranger Things equals 71. So is Murder by Number. And they released this. Then CERN breaks the world record in energy. There's all these conspiracies flying around about them opening an interdimensional portal. Now, the thing is, guys, people think, oh, when they open a portal, it's just like going to open up in the sky. That's not how it works. They opened a portal during 9/11, and we'll get into that between the two towers. But this event, something very significant happened after they broke the world record in energy. Exactly 18 hours later, the Georgia Guidestones blew up. Remember that, guys? And when you manipulate these timelines and mess with things you shouldn't be messing with, opening dimensions and using this ancient Stargate technology, you let out what's called dark matter, and it has an effect on everything around. It's going to really amplify the evil within people. So check this out, guys. From that day, July 5th of 2022, until CERN's going back online on April 8th of 2024 is exactly 643 days, guys. 643 days. Well, in Gematria, in the Latin cipher, Summer of Chaos is 643, matching nuclear radiation, and he opened the second seal is 643. Now CERN equals 128, like bridge collapse. And I told you with that whole bridge ritual, it's symbolically collapsing the bridge to this other reality, right? And that bridge collapsed at 1:28 a.m. We all remember this. So that's what it symbolizes. Now, there's many movies where they've showed us the predictive programming of them opening portals. And this is a form of lesser magic or truth in plain sight. A lot of people call it predictive programming. But as far as the occult goes, they believe that if they tell us what they're going to do and we do nothing about it, then it frees them karmically. And all the movies is some alien entities or demonic entities coming through a portal and then trying to kill humanity. Have you ever noticed that? Like all of them. It's kind of crazy. And if you look how they have all these things lined up, first of all, Earth has what's called ley lines or dragon lines. It has a chakra system, just like the human body has a chakra system. Now, there's a lot of these major structures around the world that line up perfectly with CERN pushing all that energy back towards the middle, like where they held the Bilderberg conference back in 2015, the G7. Um, I can't say this guy's name because I always get in trouble. That's why I scribbled it out on there. But he was the guy with the funny mustache in World War II that was in charge of Germany, that gentleman. His headquarters in the Austrian Alps also lines up with it. And then you can see the numbers on it in the equation. You got that 322 and that 666. So CERN is built on the Temple of Apollo, right? Revelations 9:11, releasing Apollyon, aka Abaddon. But that 643 number right here with, and he opened the second seal, that one's very telling because what is that? What is the second seal, right? Well, it's the red horse of Revelations. The second seal, a red horse. When he opened the second seal, I heard the second living creature say, "Come and see." Another horse, fiery red, went out, and it was granted to one who sat on it to take peace from the earth, and that people should kill one another, and were given a great sword. This is Revelation 6, 3 through 4. And given a great sword, I think that's talking about a nuclear weapon. This is talking about the beginning of a war. You know, people are starting to kill each other and the peace is taken from the earth. Well, if you guys remember, Beyonce was on the cover of Vogue. Remember this, guys? And she was riding the freaking red horse of Revelations. Just another form of predictive programming, lesser magic, them showing us what they're going to do. Now, another interesting thing is NASA said that they're going to be shooting rockets up at the eclipse, the day of the eclipse. Yeah, they're going to be shooting rockets. Now, me personally, I believe we live in a simulation, but I do believe it's an enclosed simulation. So I do believe there is a dome over it, what you could call a firmament. It's most likely made out of a very thick ice or crystal, but I think there's other worlds on the other side of that, right? We live in like a multiverse. I don't think planets are what they tell us they are, but I think there's a hollow earth too, a whole world under us. Now, of course, this is just my opinion, like it's anyone's opinion, because we none of us have ever been to space, none of us really know, but we all can have our opinions. But this I do know. They had Operation High Jump, 1946, discovery of the ice wall. Operation Deep Freeze, 1955, discovery of the firmament. NASA founded in 1958. The firmament is the Van Allen belt, which they can't get past, so they've probably never been to the moon like they tell us. Antarctica Treaty established in 1959, which is supposed to be the guarding of the firmament. And then you have Operation Fishbowl in 62, which was the nuking of the firmament. Now, these are real things. These ain't conspiracies. Go look up anything I'm telling you. And then Apollo 11 is supposed to be that whole hoax to hide the firmament. You know, Hillary Clinton said, we're going to break that unbreakable glass ceiling one day. You remember when she said that? That's what I think they're talking about. And when this event happens, what the ancients called the plasma apocalypse, or you hear people like archaics call it the phoenix phenomenon, when plasma punches a hole through this dome structure and pours in, and it's caused many events like the Great Floods, the Ice Age. It's also petrified forest, all the petrified trees we have, maybe even evidence of petrified giants and titans, like crocodiles that were so big and you can see them petrified. I'll actually have to do another video on that and show you guys some of these petrified forests and what was probably really like a monster, these titans. So, another thing they're telling us, guys, is to wear certain colors on the day of the eclipse. Oh, yeah, they're telling you to wear green and red on the day of the eclipse. Why? Well, the article sounds stupid why they're telling you it. You guys go read it yourself. I put the title of it right there, why they want you to wear green and red. And well, it just reminded me of that video where I seen the laser burn the shit out of green and red, but it didn't burn blue, right? So, first of all, you shouldn't look at an eclipse anyways. Every ancient culture never looked at eclipses. They had the rituals before the eclipse and after, massive human sacrifices leading up to them. But the high priestess and the kings and the nobility would never look at the eclipse because it's a bad omen. Now, they got all of us out there, right? Wearing certain colors on certain ley lines, certain energy points around the globe with this once in a lifetime planetary alignment. Whether you believe in planets or not, think of it as a sigil because the elites do believe in it. So it's like sigil magic. They're putting energy into it, meaning it makes it real as far as magic goes. That's if you believe in that sort of thing. If you don't think um, a planet's real. Now I think of it, like I said, as a dimension, just like this is a dimension. There's many other dimensions out there throughout this multiverse. There's several other variations of Earth, actually, and maybe that's what they're going to be doing, guys. Maybe they know this whole plasma apocalypse, what people call pole shift, the rapture, the phoenix phenomenon is happening, and they're like, well, everybody's going to die. So we got to try to open this portal and throw us all into another timeline. Now, that's me playing devil's advocate, right? Trying to be, um, give them a little credit, which they deserve none of. But that's definitely me playing devil's advocate there. Probably the more sinister thing is that they're just doing it because I don't know, maybe they want to harvest the energy out of there, but really I think that they have deals with these entities. These entities have been giving them life extension technology, zero gravity technology. The elite class has been working with these entities since the beginning of time. So it's nothing new, right? And yes, we do have a dome over us, but it's a binary system. That's just what it is. It's a binary system, guys. So what they call Nibiru, the Destroyer, Wormwood, Dimension X, as I like to call it, which if you go back and watch the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I was a big fan of as a kid. That member Shredder and the Brain Dude was from Dimension X. Well, Dimension X is Nibiru. It's not a planet, it's another dimension. And we see this in many of the ancient cultures that show descriptions of this binary system, the two worlds. And there's a lot of people that think it's from this world and inner earth, as above, so below, right? They think that is the two worlds, that is the binary system, one below our feet and and the one we're here on now. And we see the symbolism connected to the fleur de lis, which when you really look into the fleur de lis, that gets into the Merovingian bloodline, which is known as the 13th bloodline. And this is the bloodline that they say the Antichrist will rise up out of, this 13th bloodline, right? But there is 100% a binary system. And then we have a torus field surrounding us. That's the firmament, the torus field. And what's going to cause the eclipse, a lot of people think that is what is the black hole sun. The black hole sun. Remember that song? So we're one thing I can guarantee is we're in some type of an electrical simulation. Everything's electromagnetic, and people are starting to see the aurora borealis ramping up more, and it's not just up north no more, guys. Now it's down here in the states. People are seeing it from the 50 states, which you're not supposed to be able to see it from down here. That's not normal. So, what is going on right now? What the heck is really going on? There's definitely some strange things going on around the world that just don't really make sense. And they give us all these crazy narratives, but none of their narratives make sense. And during this eclipse, too, so we got all the people that took the jabs, right? I'm just going to say, call them, when I talk about that, I'm going to call it code red for the new followers. Hopefully you know what I'm talking about, because I don't want to get this video taken down. But this whole event that we've been on lockdown for, that started over in Wuhan, China, right? November 18th of 2019, which was the 322nd day of the year. Then Wuhan, China had the first 322 cases. What are they doing? They're mixing the iron and clay. The dream Nebuchadnezzar had, with the statue with the head of bronze, the chest of gold, or the head of gold, the chest of bronze or silver, the bottom of bronze, and then the feet were mildly in clay. And that's what they're doing. They're mixing that iron and clay part in the last kingdom, right? Which is our DNA. We're going through this DNA war. And I probably butchered that, what I said, mixing the iron and clay, but it's the tech in the flesh, mixing the two. So the third strand DNA, they want to add 3 strands of 22 to our 44 base pairs of DNA. And you could look all the way back to Yaldabaoth and the archons. Many of their hieroglyphs showed the manipulation of the double helix, the manipulation of the DNA strand. And what they're doing with this third strand of DNA is lacing it with nanotechnology. That's called graphene oxide or black goo. And that allows these entities that they're working with, that they're opening portals for, trying to release them, it allows them to be able to use your vessel as an avatar here in the physical until they are able to fully cross over in their physical body. So it's much deeper than people think. And all this technology that we're putting our energy, our life force in, that's all plugged into CERN. It's all being fed back into CERN. through the internet, the D-Wave quantum computers. It's all going back into CERN. Now, the three strands of 22 is 322. And Genesis 322, and the Lord God said that man has now become like one of us, knowing good and evil. He must not be allowed to reach out his hand and take from the tree of life and live forever. What's that sound like? Sounds like some type of transhumanism that's allowing him to live as a god forever. Now, three strands of 22, my brothers and sisters, is 22 plus 22 plus 22, right? Which equals 66. The 66th book of the Bible is where we find the mark of the beast. And guess what equals 66? Corona and black goo. Research black goo. That's the graphene oxide. That's the third strand DNA. That's why before Queen Elizabeth, right before she died, she walked up and touched that globe. You guys remember that? She touched the globe, and then three strands of pink DNA lit up in front of the globe, and it went up the tree of life. And in Celtic cultures, that tree of life represents the connection between heaven and earth. So I don't know if you guys remember that. Some of the new people might not, but it's all to plug you into the Saturn cube, the Borg cube, the smart cities, the smart grid. It's all to plug us into that cube, right? The Hellraiser cube. Let me light this blunt, guys. In 9/11, that was like the first time they opened them portals up in between the towers. That was a major ritual. And you know, you could go back and look. There something was definitely going on there. If you look at the smoke coming out of there, I'm telling you guys, go back and watch the original 9/11 videos. You could see some type of demonic energy in that fire, in that smoke. I don't fully understand what was going on there, but a lot of people, a lot smarter than me, said they were opening portals. And you got to remember right now, we are in an election year. So they're charging up all that energy for the ballot, the ballot for this, election year. Another massive ritual to their false god, to Baal, their Canaanite god, Baal, Moloch, Remphan, Saturn. He has many different names. So many names, it's unreal. But it's the same entity. It goes back to the same entity over and over again. And they get us fighting, guys, over Republican and Democrat. They got people out in Cali killing each other over Crips and Bloods when it's the same damn thing. It's the pillars of Solomon, Jachin, and Boaz. You have the red pillar, which is your sun energy, your male energy, the blade. You see how the pyramid's going upwards? That represents the blade. That's the male phallus. Then you have the blue energy, which is Isis, the moon. That represents the woman's vaginal, the upside down, the chalice. And then the mixture of them both, what's it create? The Star of David, also known as the Star of Remphan. It was never really the Star of David. Jacob Rothschild put it on the flag out there, and he wasn't even supposed to do that. A lot of Jewish people try to fight back against that, and he still did it, but I mean, these people lie so much. It's like they start to believe their lies. Now, I've been watching the new King Kong and Godzilla, guys, and I'm gonna get into that in just a second because wow, there's so much portal CERN symbolism in that. It's unreal. And these slides I was showing you with the double worlds, that's my boy Richard. You can find him over on truthmafia.com. He there's 3 videos he has over there, guys, and he really breaks it down so much better than I ever could about these 3 worlds. He's really, really good. You guys will like him. That's on truthmafia.com. Like this was this was his slide, that was his slide, and this one, the pruning time, as above, so below. So he has a really, really good one on what all that is connected to. But it's really the merging of these two realities, the two becoming the one, what CERN is doing, trying to smash these two realities together. So they try to do it many times before, and they've almost done it. Now, another thing people should probably know is that on the eclipse day, that's 600 or it's actually 6 months, 6 years, 6 months, and 6 days, which is 666 from the eclipse. 6 years, 6 months, and 6 days from the shooting to the eclipse, is what I meant to say. So that's kind of crazy too. There's that whole connection there. And that's from the day the story broke and went viral, because you really have that event taking place on both days. Ashura, August 1st or October 1st, and the 2nd. They love to do that. They'll do an event on one day, but not really break the story and let it go viral till the next day, because they're harvesting the energy from both days. Now, you could see many of these events that they've done around the world, guys, have been on these ancient ley lines, pointing all that energy back towards the center, where the twin eclipses make the X over the New Madrid fault line, and they're in the shape of this giant blood star going across from one coast to the other, all the way up to the top of Canada, all the way down to Haiti where the quake happened, all the way over to New Mexico where that quake happened. I mean, it's crazy. And when you trace along the lines, and that's an older diaphragm, we need to get a new one and update it, because there's so many more now. I'll do an update on it for you guys. I mean, we could pretty much fill it now, that star. So yeah, that's just something to look out for. A lot of things are lining up. 6 years, 6 months, 6 days from that event. So lot of weird things are going on. But this new King Kong, talk about crazy, guys. It is so good. And it's called Godzilla and Kong the New Empire. Now, I watched it on bootleg. You guys know me. I put the movie site right here. Make sure if you watch that movie on that site, you have the Brave search engine. You can't just go over on Brave and then search F movies. You have to have Brave downloaded to your computer, or you'll get pop-ups, and you're going to get all kinds of crazy little like cartoon porno type pop-ups. You don't want that, right? So this new Godzilla, the new empire, just like the Frozen Empire, it has this whole Frozen connection too. But when we see the first symbolism throughout the movie, it starts at 9 minutes and 50 seconds in, which is 95. That's a big number connected to the Jesuits and their September 27th day, which it was, I believe, the anniversary of when they did the 95 thesis, if I'm not mistaken, September 27th. But you'll see this inverted star in the classroom. And that little girl who was Kong's best friend, the little native girl, she's sitting there kind of dazed out. She looks like she's going into like in and out of consciousness, really. And she starts tweaking out. The clock on the wall goes to 1313. Then it starts doing this weird stuff, guys, like these little spikes start coming up and down on it. And she like goes into automatic writing, where something takes over her body and it's writing for her, and she writes them same spikes out. And then it looks like it's snowing in the classroom. Well, it really doesn't look like it's snowing. It looks like nuclear fallout. It looks like all that white stuff that falls in Stranger Things. There's many movies we keep seeing that white stuff. Billie Eilish had a video with it falling in it. I think it is predictive programming of some major nuclear event. And look at Kong and Godzilla. Well, they've been connected to nuclear since day one. And in this one, Godzilla, he fights Tiamat. Now, Tiamat is connected to the Anunnaki, Nibiru, and he fights Tiamat. Then he absorbs all Tiamat's powers, where he turns into the pink Godzilla, and he has pink plasma coming out now, which is way, way stronger. And as you see, poor Kong loses a hand, but he gets this robotic hand, which he's knocking shit out with that. Let me tell you, it's pretty good. I think you guys will really like it, but that 1313 is very telling. That's the hidden code. And 1313, if you spell it out, it equals 198. Now, 198 is weather modification. And in that scene, it looks like it's snowing. And then there's all this ice freezing symbolism throughout the whole movie, just like the new Ghostbusters. If you haven't seen my decode on the new Ghostbusters, guys, you should check it out. I did that one and the Katie Middleton one. They're picking up a lot of shares and views right now. So I thank you guys for that. I put a lot of hard work into these presentations. Today I took about 500 milligrams of edibles, smoked a few blunts, and put this bad boy together for you. So that's all I've done. After I'm done with it, I got a couple readings I got to knock out, and then I'm probably going to go to sleep because I've been working on this one for a while. But 1313, right? 198 matching weather modification, non-player character in that English ordinal cipher, and people are going to die. People are going to die. And then I found a connection to the 198, guys, and this other number, 1188. There's overlapping connections there, right? So we have the calm before the storm, which is 198, and then 1188 in Sumerian. You have 1313, which is 198 in English ordinal, and 1188 in Sumerian. The same thing with weather modification and this date, May 26th. So I'm like, okay, what's up with this May 26th date? I wonder. I go and count from the day Kong releases, March 29th, to May 26th, and that gives us 1 month and 27 days, which is 58 days, guys. So the Super Bowl happened this year. 58 days later, that took us to the eclipse. And 58 is a big number connected to Project Bluebeam. It's a huge number with Project Bluebeam. 5 plus 8 is 13. The 1313. So, but the 127 is really what's telling there. That number is crazy. So here's a few things that's connected to, guys. Buildings 1, 2, and 7 fell during 9/11. Scottish Rite of Freemasonry and Bavarian Illuminati equal 127. Pearl Harbor happened on 12/7. And then Ground Zero, we have the connection to 127. Fast forward to the Lahaina fires, which ignited precisely 127 days after the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson announced his new film where he portrayed Maui, the Polynesian fire god, guys. So you see how that works? He says, I'm about to play Maui, the Polynesian fire god, and then 127 days later, boom, Lahaina catches on fire. That's why it's very important how we decode these movies. We find this hidden symbolism in it, and we're able to connect dates. So, my channel blew up even more since everybody said, wow, you really did say bridge rituals was going to happen. Yeah, not just, I've been saying that for a minute. And I've been right over and over again. The Crimea Bridge, the the Rainbow Bridge, that whole event, it didn't collapse, but there was a little ritual with it. The bridge in Pittsburgh collapsed. So they've been doing it. It's nothing new. Truthfully, I'm waiting for the grand finale, which is the Golden Gate Bridge. You know, guys, that's the one I'm waiting on. I'm waiting on that grand finale one. But yeah, that's another date to mark on your calendar. Um, May 26th. I would definitely mark that one down if I was you, because I truthfully believe they will do something on that day. Is it going to be like the end of the world? No, but it could be like a state shooting, some type of false flag event on the world stage. That'll be a total energy harvest. That's what it'll be all about, harvesting our energy, right? And speaking of Kong and the whole freezing thing, there's this new reptilian entity in it, and the bad gorillas, the Scar King, he has it captive, and it doesn't shoot plasma; it shoots ice. There's the ice symbolism. That's how Kong lost his hand from the ice guys, from the Scar King. And you know how I said from the release of Kong in Godzilla until May 26th is 1 month and 27 days. Which, why did I even look at May 26th? Well, because it's right here in the 1188 code and in the 198 code. That's why I'm looking at it. And we had that connection to 1313 on the classroom, where the little girl started writing on her desk and the room started snowing. It went in slow motion. You'll see when you watch the movie, you'll see that's a key part. I knew to pay attention right there. I said, oh boy, here we go. Something's about to happen. Right after I seen the Baphomet star, and there's several Baphomet stars during that scene. But the 127 connection, how it's 1 month and 27 days, well, what's in that cipher? Harp weather modification, Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire. See, it's something with the weather and ice, guys. And the cracking of the ice, the cracking of the glass is the cracking of the veil, with CERN opening the interdimensional gateway. Escape the simulation code 127. I will escape the soul trap 127. I mean, that's crazy. And what's the new Kong really about? Portals. Portals to inner Earth. That's what it's all about, my brothers and sisters. Portals. And the Scar King, he's trying to get to the surface level, but he's been imprisoned by Godzilla and them down in this one part of Hollow Earth. And then he runs into King Kong, and they all try to jump King Kong, and they use this lizard to mess his hand up. That so he goes up to the surface and finds Godzilla, and at first Godzilla tries to kill him, but then King Kong gets mad, and he has that new hand on, the metal hand, and he knocks Godzilla out and drags him by his tail back into inner Earth. So I don't want to spoil the whole end. I pretty much just spoiled it for you there, but now check this out. The portal, it opens where they show you it real big on the screen, guys, at 1 hour and 33 minutes into the movie. So if you go back and watch my Kate Middleton code, that's what it was all about, the 133. And extinction is 133. False reality, dragon energy, Saturnus, which is Saturn, opening up that portal to Dimension X. The Little Horn of Revelations, Kate Middleton, 133, which I think she's dead, guys. I really do. I got a second decode coming out on her, and oh boy, I found some crazy things. I'm pretty sure the royal family sacrificed her. It could have been for something for this upcoming eclipse, but I think Kate's gone, man. I don't think that person is her no more. And who knows if it's even a real person at all? It's most likely AI. But, anyways, so we have all these 133 connections, right? Kate Middleton, the Little Horn, Dragon Energy, False Reality, Extinction. That's that whole plasma apocalypse. And then 117. Now, 117, we were decoding the other day on my website, truthmafia.com, and the new Halo, which is also about what? Portals. The new Halo season 4, the reptilian entities, they have these crafts that shoot plasma beams down, guys, and burn up whole cities. These giant blue plasma beams. Kind of like they did to Lahaina. And in that, the head character, his name is Master Chief John 117. So you have the 117 connection, and he's trying to get to this big ring, which is a portal. It's a Stargate. They're fighting over it. That's what they're fighting over. The reptilian entities and John. They're fighting over this Stargate. So we see the same narrative over and over and over again, where reptilians or these demonic things are coming through a portal and trying to wipe out all of humanity. Like, this ain't the first time we've seen that, right? Now, real quick, speaking of evil entities, real quick, guys, them telling us to wear these colors, right? The green and red, it says the Purkinje effect. I can't pronounce that. Purkinje effect, whatever that is. The Purkinje. I got dyslexia. Pronouncing words, I am terrible at. So, and I'm on like 500 milligrams of edibles right now. My apologies, guys. But that word, hold on one second. Let me show you here. Let me pull my slide up. That little word right. Okay. Boom. Guess what that word equals, guys? 30. Like Jehovah, fake God, demiurge, monster, vampires. They're telling you to go out there and dress in these colors on certain ley lines as this eclipse is going over you, and they're harvesting your energy to open an interdimensional gateway. That's exactly what they're doing. And then in the 26 cipher, which if you spell out 26, 26 spelled out equals 30. So it comes back to the 30. Archons, harvest, food, planet prison, and the archons equal 666, which the flora de lis is 666, matching dark matter. And the flora de lis is a representation of the bee, which is the Merovingian bloodline, the 13th bloodline that these anti-Christ entities are supposed to arrive from. And we see that flora de lis over and over again throughout the cultures. You see it, right? The royal family, Prince William, he's a descendant of that Merovingian bloodline. So that's why I think the Antichrist is, guys. Her grandson. That's my opinion on it. But with the flora de lis being 666 and a representation of the bee, do you guys remember that movie Jupiter Ascending? And the bees wouldn't sting Miley Kunis's character because she was the reincarnation of the Queen Abraxas. She was the Abraxas Queen. So they knew she was royalty and wouldn't sting her. That was the symbolism there. And then the dude with her, he was protecting her. He was like kind of a hybrid. He was mixed with canine DNA and a bunch of stuff. But he was pretty much like an angel because he got his wings chopped off. They cut his wings off for going up against one of the Abraxas. I think it was like Titus or something. I can't remember exactly who it was, but he was going up against one of them entities, and he was punished for that. You can't You know what I mean? You can't do that. And who is Abrasics? You're probably like, Tommy, who's that? Well, the Abrasics family, they ran the whole world. So they would seed humanity and then come back when humanity got to its maximum amount, like maximum population size, and they would harvest us. And it would take 100 humans to make one vial of this fluid that they would bathe in, and it would extend their life, kind of like the adrenal. Hashtag Chrome, you know what I'm saying? Had to break that word up for the algorithm, but kind of very much like that. And I mean, I think that's really what's going on right now, guys. All these ancient cultures have these myths about the harvest, where reptilian entities come from inner earth and they come up and harvest us every so often. Wouldn't that be crazy if during the eclipse it was like that movie where all the vampires were up in Alaska and it was like 30 Days of Darkness? I can't remember the name of that movie for the life of me, but it's probably something dumb too, like 30 days. Someone let me know in the comments. I think it was though. But they would go to that town and just feed on everyone, and it's like that, like a harvesting. So imagine if when the eclipse happens, boom, the sun goes dark, and then some entities come up from inner Earth. Kind of sounds very much like Revelations, right? This vampire race feeding on humanity. But Abrasics, see the Abrasic symbol? That's a real demon. That's a real sigil. So that's the name of the family that owns the world in Jupiter Ascending, the House of Abrasics. And in real life, that's a demon, the Abrasics demon. It's an archon. And notice its symbol, the X. So yeah, pretty crazy, man. That's what we're living in. Some crazy world with some archons and interdimensional entities um, running this reality. Now, before we go today, guys, I just want to let you know we got some amazing sales going on over on truthfultv.com. And you should have heard of this guy, Mark Cummings. He was a physicist at UC Berkeley and studied the energetic effects of crystals. He found that when placed under physical pressure, some crystals will produce an electrical charge. Cummings believed he could enhance the effect by wrapping electrical coils around the quartz crystals, and one night he did an experiment. So he wraps them up. The crystals begin to glow and ring. When he measured the energy coming out of the crystal, it was 25% more than the voltage going in the crystal, he discovered. And his house was raided. He was put into jail. So we have many real crystals over there that are unpolished because once you polish them, they're ruined. So we have organite pyramids, crystals, stuff that aligns your chakra, blocks black magic. And remember, when they went into the Ark of the Covenant back in the day, the high priestess, they had the 12 stones their on their chest plate because that was some communication thing through God. And it was giving off some type of radiation. If you read the stories about it, it says the Ark of the Covenant was causing its enemies to lose their hair. I mean, it sounds like radiation, but it allowed them to interface, and they had these stones on their chest which blocked them frequencies. They knew this. And the rainbow, which represents our DNA, the rainbow of colors can be compared to the 12 colorful stones of the high priestess's breastplate as he wore to go in to speak to God, right? To the most high, or whatever they were speaking to. But we also have these organite pyramids, and they are pretty much trying to shut them down, guys. So the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission is now forcing Etsy.com to take down ads which contain the crystals, metal, and resin technology known as orgonite. The interesting part, orgone was shown by William Reich to detect nuclear radiation. He was also pursued by the FDA, and he actually died in prison with him. So I have one by my bed, one by my computer right now. It promotes spiritual health, promotes better sleep, induces vivid dreams, promotes spiritual growth, plant growth. It's really awesome. What it really does is transmutates the negative energy giving off by the 5G tower into positive energy. So it cleans it. That's really what it's doing. It's cleaning it. But yeah, we got a lot of really nice stuff over there, guys, for you to check out. And we also got these bracelets. Use promo code Truth Mafia. The link is in the bio on Instagram and in the description on all other platforms. These are the wellness bracelets. This is one of our sponsors, Body Align, and it has all that sugarite, orgonite grounded up in the band. So these are just really good for your overall wellness, overall health. You know, helps with pain without using drugs and stuff like that. And it also blocks up to 60% of that effects that you get from the EMF, the microwaves that we're all dealing with. But over on truthfultv.com, we have an amazing sale going on until the eclipse. That's the last day of it. And I got the Shungite pyramids. I got the things that go on the phones. I got the bracelets that are made from copper and obsidian, the 7.83 hertz bracelets, which match the Schumann resonance and the alpha brain waves. And then the obsidian blocks psychic attacks, black magic attacks. Don't believe me, go read about it, go research it. You'll be back. Check it out. And that link is also down in the description. And on Instagram, it is in the bio. So I love y'all. Some of the products that are on sale, you can't use the promo code. But if they're not on sale, use promo code SALE17, all capital letters, and you'll get an extra 17% off with free shipping. And with the other one, if you wanted one of them bracelets, that's promo code Truth Mafia. The T is a capital, the M is a capital, spelled just like you see it on the screen there. And I just want to thank you guys for taking this ride with me. If it wasn't for people like you, there would be no Tommy Truthful. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. Smash that like button and share this video. Thank you guys. I love y'all.